When Lord Jyscal was alive, the Guado knew prosperity and honor. But now, we Guado wither and crumble. I myself could have done more to stop this. Forgive me, Lord Jyscal.
It's sad. I know he made a huge mistake. He shattered the sphere. He did it. He perpetuated this massively. But if he didn't do that, he was against Yevon just as we were. And how was he empowered to do that at all? Jyscal was his master. And in Jyscal's death, he didn't know that Seymour had killed him. In Jyscal's death, the best he could do to honor this man he greatly cared for, who did bring prosperity to the Guado, he tried his best to stand by his son's side. He didn't know that there was this great chasm between Jyscal and his son, or that he was on the wrong side in the end. And now because of that, it's a mistake Trommel made. And a mistake with good intentions.
Lord Jyscal, I beg your forgiveness.
Maybe a bit hard to relate to him with his monstrously garish hands and weird... But, you know, I think he's kind of a cool character. I hated him so much as well. If there's any character, really, especially if you get stuck in like difficult boss fights and stuff, that you really get annoyed with in this story, I tend to find it's Trommel. Like that scene where he smashes the sphere, you really get very angry that happens. I don't know about you guys, but I do. And so to swing it this way and then empathize with him, I can do that. So, yeah, we'll talk to the guy in front of the door here. I think Guado Slum's one of the better places to come back to at the end of the game. None may enter this lordless manor. Lordless manor. Just becomes decrepit. So yeah, is that everything? I mean, we got the little houses. Macon was once down here. Where is Macon right now? I think we've seen the last of him, actually. Some Guado. Some advice from one blitzer to another. Stay away from Guado Salam. Oh, dear. Is that legit advice, or are you threatening us? Soon sin will come for us all. Human, Guado. Makes no difference. Go on and pray. Yevon will do nothing to stop it. You? Oh, you want to rest here? Maybe later. Ha, he that is too secure is not safe. Oh, never mind. I was just rambling. Always live with one eye open, I guess is what he's trying to tell us there. Alright, we'll move on from Guado Slum out into the Thunder Plains. Some interesting stuff to see here. Can talk to you guys a little bit more about the lightning minigame now that we've got no encounters. I already showed you the crater glitch, which is how I certainly got it. And I showed you the other glitch where you're against the rock and you can do it on your first time. So I'm actually going to save because we've made some good progress here and I don't want to mess it up. But what I'm going to be doing here, right? The mini game, as I've explained to you before, is to dodge 200 lightning bolts in a row. Okay, I will now explain to you guys what a sigil is, right? For every crest, there is also a sigil. So, the moon crest we found in a bay in Besaid. This is Yuna's moon crest. There is also a moon sigil. The sigils are much harder to get than the crest. The crests are just littered around the world. The sigils are from very difficult mini-games or challenging things. So, the Venus sigil, Lulu's sigil, is here in the Thunder Plains. You can only acquire it from dodging 200 lightning in a row. And that is a big challenge. I did it in blocks of 50. It was very difficult. I used the crater challenge. And I literally just kept running in circles. I did 50. Then, because the horrible thing about this challenge is your eyes. Your eyes get itchy. You want to blink constantly. So here we go. We'll go like this. And you need no encounters because the encounters just ruin it. Seriously. So I would do this 50 times in a row. So that's 1. That's 2. It's a lot of focus you got to have. Even though by doing this you can somewhat predict the lightning. And then, after 50, I paused the game. And I sat back and I looked at some other stuff. Then I would return and I'd do another 50. And after enough in a row, I'm hoping to get 10 here so that we can at least spawn a single chest. I got the sigil. And I did film this. There will be footage of it, probably in the background right now even, for you guys to check out. So, that's kind of what I did there. There is another thing here, though, too, to do with Kimahri's final weapon. The final weapons in this game are called Celestial Weapons, and this has to do with the Cactuar Stones. We need to pray at a couple more of them, so I will cut it until we find some more that are glowing, and I press square on them. So I'll see you guys in a sec. So here you go, a chest has appeared on the floor out here. This is because I just dodged some lightning. So I open it up, And it says, tired of being struck by lightning, feeling burnout, then come on in for a rest at the Bilgan Memorial Travel Agency. You'll feel refreshed in no time. That's an ether. That's the most basic reward. We can open it again for another reward. Congratulations, you dodged 5 lightning in a row. The agency reward presents you with this small commemorative gift, which is 2 X potions, which back then in the game was pretty good. Now we can't open it anymore. That means I need to dodge more to get more rewards. One thing I never mentioned in the story too is the fact this is the Bilgan Memorial Agency. So Macon told us about how Bilgan wasn't written down in any scriptures of Yevon. So the Al Bhed have come here in the modern day and they've said, oh look, no, we'll name it after Bilgan, and that's their way of trying to remind everyone. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to save it, go find some cacti stones, and we'll proceed with the world tour. Oh, here we go, just near here. No, damn it. See, I got hit by the lightning there and the stone turned off. It was active and now it's not. But there's another one further ahead. There's this dude here stood in front of this tower. He summons Dark Ixion, so you don't want to talk to him. We'll talk to him later on in the story. Specifically, earlier, I mentioned that I saw a guy on Game FAQs crying that, you know, he'd lost his save file and so forth. It was that specific Dark Aeon, that guy he'd spoken to. And I did it too on my test file. I see another glowing stone over here. I may as well mention as well, it's been like a couple of days since I first went to the agency. I decided to let everyone have a proper rest. Come on, man, the stone's just turned off again. Dodged that lightning though, that was pretty cool. Damn it, I guess I have to move back. Yeah, it's been a couple of days, so Tidus has been well rested up there. Oh, no, here we go. Don't you, what? What is this? I've never had so much trouble. Oh, and then I get hit, add insult to injury. I wonder if I can just wait, because the thing is, I feel like just standing near the stones, they never turn on. There's another one. Turned off again. Hit by the lightning. Is this one back here back on? So yeah, I don't know. I want to record a lot. It's just, I've taken a couple of big breaks. I guess it's because I did the big marathon, and it was a long time before I could record. And I don't know. I just got to this point in the Thunder Plains. I was like, oh my god, it's back on over there. I was like, I may as well just call it quits for today, because I guess I sort of realised there's a fair amount left for me to do. Do you know what? I'm going to stand here, and I'm going to wait for either this one or that one back there to turn on. It looks like they're alternating. So we're just going to wait, okay? That one's going to turn off. And now this one. No, come on. You know you want to turn on. Do I have to be moving? Is that what counts it? Steps? I probably won't have footage. I should have already edited in, hopefully. Me collecting the sigil. The Venus sigil. Here we go. Here we go. Go. Don't let me down, Tidus. Sweet. So when it's glowing, you can press square 5. What the hell? And pray at this thing. So there's one cacti. And what was that, our last one? How many did we do when we first travelled through the Thunder Plains? I believe we did all of them, right? We did at least 3, because I think it's 4 you've got to do. Now, once you've prayed to all the cacti stones, you'll notice that they're not lighting up anymore. You have undone all of that work that Lord Gandalf did all that time ago. You're going to want to go back to the South Thunder Plains. So that's where we're going to head. Alright, so here we go. Now that we're in the south, damn it, I swear I did that. You'll notice there's a cacti, like a ghost here. Now, if you stay close to the ghost, it won't quite disappear, and you follow it, and it disappears in front of this tower. What the hell does that mean? Actually, it stays here. It's floating in front of the tower. Really easy to miss, especially with all the smoke and stuff around here. The threat of lightning, you're not really focusing on that. But yeah, once you've prayed at 4 stones, you'll find this guy here. And he's showing you to this tower for a very specific reason. This is one of those kind of things where you can write your own story, your own lore, I guess. But what have we been doing? We've been pressing square on stones, right? If I press X right now, interact with, like, what are we even interacting with? Nothing happens, but we press square. Tidus will do the prayer. This suggests, by the way, that the prayer is more than just a sign for victory. It's got some power to it. I guess there's a reason the people of Zanarkand chose it as a sign for victory in the first place. And lightning strikes, revealing a chest. The cloudy mirror seems to react. Use the cloudy mirror. Is this one going to do anything? Not enough energy. The answer is no. It seems we need to get more energy for our mirror before it will do anything. But that has got Kimahri's final weapon in it called the Spirit Lance, which we'll be gathering very soon. And that's really all you got to do. So basically the process with getting the celestial weapons, the final weapons in this game, is number 1, you've got to acquire the weapon itself. So this was the process for getting Kimahri's weapon. That's the first we've seen, I believe. But whenever you get to one of these situations, you need a powered up cloudy mirror to even get into the chest. So there's all these chests that are basically locked, and you can't get into them without this mirror. I don't know what the significance there is. Like, why would a mirror be able to get you in? Is this some kind of, like, cultural Japanese thing? I really don't know. But so that's the idea. Once you've got the weapon, you can power it up twice. You'll notice the weapon itself is really crappy when we first get a hold of it. And you want to power it up, charge it, with first a crest, which we've found all the crests so far, And then second, a sigil. And as you've seen here in the Thunder Plains, one of the sigils is. That's Lulu's sigil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take us through the world tour. And then once we're done with the whole world tour, we'll go to another save file and start powering all of this stuff up. I'm just showing you where you gather these locations from as we go. So Auron's final weapon is where we put that rusty sword down near Jose, I guess, at Mushroom Rock Road, right? Wakka's one is from that woman behind the bar, which I'll show you guys very shortly. Kimahri's is there, and we'll continue on. So here we go. This is Macalania Woods. Done with the Thunder Plains now. And really, we haven't got that much further left to go. Yes, during the original story, there was a lot going on after this point, but if you really think about it, we can't go through Lake Macalania. I've already shown you that in the series. It just leads to Dark Shiva, who we can't kill. We can't go back to Bevelle, because it's a hellhole over there, and it's not a part of this game. And so the only other place we can go is the Calmlands. Well, what's in the Calmlands? We've seen there, Mount Gagazanakan. So, you know, it's deceptive. It really is. Anyway, one thing that has changed here at Macalania is once.
Welcome. We got some goodies today.
And so, yeah, Once has now got he doesn't say anything about his sister or any of that story with O'aka. He doesn't say you can find O'aka and Luca. Doesn't explain why he's here in this, like, crystal dying forest, as it would seem. He's just here, right? So, what do we have? We can look for items from him. He's stopped selling holy water. I find that kind of interesting.
Welcome. We got some goodies today.
But on the weapons front, he's got something really good. Now, in the game, you could try and go for the celestial weapons, right? Which are really powerful weapons that the devs basically give you through special minigames and stuff, right? Which is what we're on a quest to do right now. Or you could say, actually, I don't want the dev weapons, I want to make my own. You can do it entirely through customize. It will be a lot more grindy, but you have more control over what those final weapons end up being. They will have different damage formulas, which I'll talk about later, but it is totally optional for you. And if you want to do that, Once is a great guy. Yes, his stuff is very expensive. This would take pretty much all of our guild just to buy any of it right now. But if you want a 4-slot empty bit of gear, go to Once. The flexible arm, you remember we actually got from a chest at one point, and down here are armor too. Now, there is no final armor in the game, and armor is incredibly important for defeating the final Aeons. So while crafting your own weapons is totally optional, and I wouldn't really recommend to people because it's so grindy, you have to make your own final armor. And so what I will do, or have done, I guess, depending on your perspective, is I bought this stuff from Once, and by using these 4-slot pieces of equipment, I filled them with amazing auto abilities, which we'll talk about when we get there, and used those to defeat the Dark Aeons. So, he's a great vendor, he remains really useful right at the end of the game. It's important to know where he is. Otherwise, he doesn't say anything to us, and yeah, that's really the whole story between those two merchants so far. And so now we're back, right? You'll remember that we had the family here. You could have left it to this point. Help the family, and eventually you will gain access to this weird thing up on this pathway. Now, I don't know why, but I would call this a celestial pathway. And really, that's not because it's got something to do with celestial weapons, but it does. So I don't know, is that a coincidence? Why is this a celestial pathway? Because it looks like it's made out of stars? I'm not sure. Anyway, so we'll come over to this, and that kid said to us, hey, you'll think this is important, right? Well, we can use the cloudy mirror with it. Why? I don't know. Do you know what, guys? If you can give me a good story about what the hell is going on with these quests for the final weapons and stuff, please let me know, because it's just so stupid. But right, so you find the cloudy mirror from beating a chocobo in a race underneath Rembium Temple. And then you want to use that here at this cool place. And previously it didn't have enough power, right? Well, finally it seems to have done something. Now we've obtained the Celestial Mirror. So, this is the item we can now use to open any chests, speak to that bartender in Luca, all sorts of things. You'll notice we can't really interact with this anymore. So, I'm just going to go and grab the Spirit Lance, Auron's one, and Kimahri's one. Right now, we're just going to go cut, because I don't want to waste your guys' time. Man, the music in Luca is so happy. Jeez. Alright, so back in Luca, I'm sure with my original notepad I did this more seamlessly. So she says, hey there, star player! Hey, you have it, right? Let me see it for a second. So your grand theory about why all this is going on has to explain why she will only respond to having this mirror. Amazing! I can say that I'm honored to hand over the family heirloom. So, yeah, that badass weapon that Wakka is now holding is the World Champion. She says, our ancestors received this artifact from Lord High Summoner of Holland. Please use it with care. So, Harland, I shouldn't need to remind you guys. She didn't say anything after that, by the way. Actually, I'm curious. What does she say? That was the, like, second High Summoner? Yeah, because Braska was the most recent. Before him, it was Lady Yokun. Before her, it was Harland. Before him, it was Gandalf. Before him, it was Lady Yunileska. So here, check it out. She says, our answer... she just repeats the dialogue, so there you go. Didn't think she said anything. So yeah, why did she give that to us? Did he say, oh, you know, you can't give this weapon to someone unless they have the mirror? Like, what the hell is the story there? Anyway, look, so this is the world champion. Final weapon, right? How cool is this? Let's equip it to Wakka. Oh, well, look. It's got 3 empty slots on it. Empty slots which, might I add, you cannot customize into. And it says no AP. Why would you ever want to equip this thing? He just doesn't get any experience if he gets it. So these are really useless weapons until you charge them up. There's really no need to acquire them unless you're going to give them really both the crest and the sigil. Otherwise, you know, there's just no point in it. The really special thing about these, though, is in addition to having really good auto abilities, each final weapon, each celestial weapon, has a completely different damage formula. So the main thing it does is it bypasses the enemy's armor levels, right? So a traditional time you attack in Final Fantasy X, right? It has like a crit damage chance, a base chance. Every single weapon in the game has 4%, which I've told you guys before. Some weapons have got 8%, like the ones from the bombs, and the very final super bosses have got like 10% chances too, I believe, if I'm getting all these facts right. So that's one thing. But the way it determines damage is it looks at your character's strength, and then it looks at the enemy's defense, and it just does a sum between the two of them, and that's the damage, right? This is why you do way less damage to Flans, because they have a very high defense, while, say, a bird has got very low defense. Well, a celestial weapon just stops looking at defense altogether. It does not matter what the toughness of your enemy is. Now, you still need a lot of strength to get to, like, the really high numbers of damage, but it means just by virtue of equipping it, regardless of the auto abilities on it, which themselves are awesome, it means you can do way more damage to enemies, right? Way more damage. And it actually enables you to compete with the super bosses at the end of the game, because it ignores that stat. It stops you doing, like, mediocre damage. You can actually hit in the top realms every single time. Really, really important thing to note about the final weapons, and that is not something you can do if you try and customize yourself. So that's the trade-off, and that's another reason why I wouldn't recommend you try and make your own. Like, Dark Matter, I think I talked to you guys about in this series. Dark Matter is an item, stupidly rare, really, really, really rare. It takes 99 Dark Matters to help you break the damage limit on a weapon. I think it's 99. Either that or it's some other arbitrary really high number. It's just not worth, like, getting that many Dark Matters. It would cost you so much time to grind that many up. Anyway, so here, check it out. And the Celestial weapons get that for free. Anyway, so check it out. This thing appeared on the wall when we put the sword in. The Celestial Mirror seems to react. Use the Celestial Mirror. And this time, we get inside. This is the Masamune. Gods, don't hurt me for my pronunciation. Looks like Riku wants it. But then Auron just walks over. No, this is mine now. Notice how there's no dialogue here. Pretty cool weapon. Many of these are recurring weapons in the game, by the way. Like, this is a weapon that's been in many Final Fantasies. I believe there's also a reference to something IRL. So yeah, there you go. That's Auron's one. I'm gonna cut now. We're gonna go check out what we just created in that chest over in the Thunder Plains. Ugh, those women. No, I did not mean... Oh, dear. Oh, my God. Actually, this is pretty cool, me showing this off early. No. Okay, and a third woman. Don't go near me. I just want to save. Please let me leave the area. Please let me leave. Whew. Okay, cool. You guys didn't see anything. Nothing at all. Oh, for what it's worth as well, I should tell you guys, you've caught way up with the series now, by the way, because I took such a long break from recording. Today, I'm uploading the episode where Maester Micah sends himself. So really, we're very close. Anyway, here we go. This is this chest. Lightning strikes, sure. Screw you, Thor. Celestial Mirror seems to react. Use it. This is why it would have been clever for me to have done the Macalania Forest stuff first. Before we did the world tour. Oh, Kimahri. Like, okay, and here's another thing you need to explain with your story. Nobody's going to come up with a story. Why is Kimahri's weapon here? Like, why? What's he got anything to do with thunder or lightning? It's a pretty badass cutscene, though. And there you go. So this weapon is the Spirit Lance. And again, this has just got no AP on it and no difference. So I'll see you guys back up in the forest. We're now caught up. Okay, there has been one final change here in the forest, okay? And that is the butterfly catching mini-game we talked about when we first came here. I did give you guys the facts back then, but we'll go over it again. Basically, the first time you come to the forest, you complete those, you get some, like, kind of rubbish rewards, but the mini-game itself, too, is quite easy. There's not too many red butterflies. You just catch in the blue ones, if you guys remember, as we did that stuff. Well, now, after you beat the Spheromorph, those rewards change. It remains quite easy, but the rewards change. Now that we've got to the very end of the game, the rewards have changed a third time, and they have gotten significantly harder. There are a lot more red butterflies. I make no guarantee I'm going to complete this at all. And so I will probably be editing in some footage of me completing this. This is one of the other mini games for Kimahri's sigil. So this is for the not Jupiter. What's Kimahri's planet? You have to explain why the planets are like a thing too. I guess they're the celestial weapons. Saturn, right? So we're looking for the Saturn sigil here. You only get the Saturn sigil if you complete both of these mini games. You have to do both of them. The one in this map and the one in the other one. So here we go. I'm going to suck at this. I have no map. There's a blue one. There's a red one. There's a red one. Blue. 2 red ones. We're going to avoid those. Another red one. There's a blue one there. Because the risk here is not only just dodging the red ones properly, but it's you might miss a blue one too. As I mentioned before in this series, there's actually a hidden blue one like back in a complete opposite area than you'd expect. So there we go. We're actually doing all right here. Look at all these red butterflies here. Like, it's very, very challenging. So they're all screwed. We're going to get a random encounter here, but don't worry too much about these. They're the same kind of easy enemies you experienced back at the start. They are obviously the tankier variants, but we, of course, are so powerful now. Who the hell is going to care? Let's bring in Kimahri and hit some... Actually, do you know what? We'll overkill it with some serious overkill, not game mechanics overkill. Come on, Uni, you can do your own thing now. You don't need Guardians anymore.
Light our way.
You hit more damage than anyone else does, like with a generic spell right now. For this brief period of time. Oh, wow, that didn't actually... That hit Yunalesca harder. Don't forget, Yunalesca was actually specifically weak to it. And then an attack from Auron there. It's also kind of interesting to me that Auron, there's another blue one, and another one would be there. Then we'd have to get all the way back to the chest, right? So it's pretty difficult. I'll show you guys the correct version of it in a second, but the other one is just over here on the next map, so I'll show you that. Yeah, I found it kind of interesting Auron was hitting 99999 against the Machina at the end of the game, and yet here he's hitting, you know, only just under 5k. Pretty curious. So that's the ending butterfly where the chest will appear. So there you go. On this one, there's a bit of a challenge. You would think you're going to go back the way you came, but you've got to run all the way over here and grab that hidden one there. And then there's 2 red butterflies barring your passage back. So we're doing okay. Little weave there. That's another blue one. He's there. You got to dodge in and out like that. This one's there. That one's there. It's really hard. Basically, this is just a challenge in depth perception. The fact I missed that blue one first time around probably means I fucked this up. Yeah, and we missed that one too. So yeah, I'm gonna now edit in the footage of me completing it. Alright, so here we are. You might notice a bit of weirdness with the footage, and this is that old interlaced like issue I was talking about before. But yeah, so this is the correct route. Honestly, my main advice for completing this, which by this point I did like a month or so ago, is just find a map of where the butterflies are. First time we were here, I did talk about how you can pause the game. That will stop the timer, but give you time to assess where the butterflies are. And really the issue here is, if you hit a single red one, you run out of time. You also need to get every single blue one on your first appearance with it. But there you go, that's all 7 of the butterflies for here. You'll notice your first reward is a teleport sphere. That's actually a pretty good reward too, funnily enough. But you need to complete both of the areas for the sigil. So this is the second one. You want to go back I actually think on my test file I managed to do one of these the first time. Which, I don't know, if you've got a map, what's the difference? A lot of people really complain about this one. Some people say that this is harder than the Chocobo racing one in the Calmlands, which I'll be showing in this tour very, very soon. Here, actually, you'll notice I get a battle, and during the battle, even, I have my characters just physically attack everything. This is some of the monster capturing in progress, which we've sort of been skipping over. Yeah, and there you go. You can see that at this point I already had all of the blue elementals complete. The reason I'm skipping it is I just don't feel it's really worthwhile watching. You guys don't need to see me grind on 10 of every enemy you've already seen. Anyway, this could be a demonstration that you can in fact hit a red one, as long as you're quick enough with the blues, and there is a little bit of leeway. I'm assuming this is the winning run anyway. Hopefully I didn't record footage of one of the failed attempts. You will notice on this area you actually get a fair bit more time. 3 seconds to go on the last butterfly, and I'd hit a red one. So there you go. I wait for them to disappear. And when you acquire your second chest, you'll get a different ward. Obviously, if you do this one first, you'll get the teleport sphere here and then the sigil later. But there you go. That is the acquisition of the Saturn sigil. Alright, so we're back. I'm running through in my head right now what we're going to do next. Because, I don't know, there's quite a lot we've already done. So here, this guy, does he still block our passage? He says the road is still closed. Will you let me go? See, now, if you fly on the airship, you can go to a place called Highbridge, and you can literally go right to the entrance of Bevelle. Maybe that's only in a second or two. I remember some people commenting as well. I think we already read that dialogue quite recently. People were saying that I missed a chest here, and I could have sworn I opened it. Yeah, this chest here, if this is what you guys were talking about, I got this. It's open. It's an open chest. It gives you that alternate angle. So there's some Guado here. They say, hey, aren't you one of the Besaid Aurochs? You're a Blitzball player. There's something I must tell you. Sure, what? Grandma says she has something important to tell you. Sure. We'll do our Guado voice, okay? I'd like to apologize on behalf of the Guado. We are responsible for the fiends that attacked the stadium after the game. We're sorry for the disturbance and for disrupting such a wonderful game. Please accept our apologies. There's a lot of dialogue here, if I remember. It was Maester Seymour's plan to release the fiends in Lucas Stadium. He thought he could win the trust of the people by defeating the fiends with his ale. I heard that his plan to marry the High Summoner's daughter was solely to gain the support of the people of Yevon. There seem to have been other reasons as well, but now we'll never know. What we know is this crazy stuff about sin. By obeying Maester Seymour, we Guado have committed an excusable crime. It is far too late to try shifting the blame to Maester Seymour. Within time, the Guado will be despised as the Albed. And then they'll form an alliance, and it'll be the Guadbed. And they'll have like a child that is born of Sid and some Guado guy. That child's brother was Maester Seymour's subordinate. He died while invading the Albed hideout, searching for the lost summoners. He was never sent. I fear he now wanders as a fiend. I think that could be the start of a quest. But it's not. The power of the Guado has greatly deteriorated. They merely await the inevitable now. That is why I brought that child and moved away from Guado Salam. Perhaps we will find peace in some faraway land. You find a lot of the Guado settle here in the forest. And the forest doesn't have a particularly bright future either. I still haven't told that child the truth about the Guado. Perhaps when he grows older and can accept the reality of the situation, only then will I reveal the truth about everything to him. Man. I'm tired now after talking so long. I'm not as young as I used to be. Oh man. There's something about talking to NPCs here with the music. There is something about Final Fantasy games, and many games by the same token, that don't have like extensive voice acting across everything, where you just get to immerse yourself so much in the ambience of the music they give you, and you invent your own voices for characters. I think I just, my recording just crashed for a second. It should be okay though. I think it's because I pressed space on the keyboard and it turned it off. But you know, there's something about being able to immerse yourself in the ambience of these worlds. I don't know, you miss a little bit. I don't know, maybe other people understand what I'm trying to say. Guado Salam's no fun these days. Everyone's so sad there. That's why I'm going on a journey with my grandmother. Man. So there you go. We could have been the one to kill the, you know, the mother or father or whatever they said it is between those two generations of people. Kind of sad. What's this person say? We did read this before. There's so many warrior monks passing by lately. Did something happen at the temple? A lot happened at the temple. By the way, a lot more will happen at Bevelle too. I love the friggin' what happens at Bevelle very shortly. You don't get to see much of the aftermath. So here's where we had our first kiss, guys. Do you think this was Tidus' first kiss? Or do you think he got with a lot of floozies as a Star Blitzball player? I'm sure he did. Let's be honest. Yuna's just the next one in line. You know, a lot of people hate what they did with the franchise. Like, do you remember at the start of the LP, I showed you all these boxes, and I was like, here's Final Fantasy X, which is what we've been playing this entire time. Here's 10-2, and then I said, you know, there were a bunch of other things. The one at the very bottom is an audio drama which follows on from like a novel at the end. Like, it's all stuff I'll explain. But that audio drama people hate in so many ways. But whatever. Okay, we will do some stuff in the Calmlands. Now, what do we actually have to do? Now, we could go to Remium Temple, and you know how we now have Yojimbo, and we can fight Belgemine and her Aeons there? We could fight Yojimbo. I'm not going to do that, though. I can't be bothered. One thing we could do, though, is get another sigil here, and I'm going to do that now. This is the Chocobo Catcher sigil. This is getting less than 0 seconds in the big race. I'll edit some footage on so you guys can watch and enjoy, and see you in a second. You know, I just noticed in the footage a second ago, you could actually see Mount Gagazet in the top in the background. Anyway, so here we go. This is Chocobo Catcher. I think there'll be like one failed attempt here. You know, it took a lot of my will. You could make a rage video of this so easily, but I guess it's not my style. Yeah, I spent a long time on this. This took me maybe 40 minutes on this playthrough of the game. I reckon in my life, I've completed this maybe 4 or 5 times. Which is kind of sad, really, because it's very difficult, very frustrating. What gets to people on this is the RNG, and just how frustrating it can be to get hit by, like, one bird, and then another bird, and then another bird, and then another bird in the row. It's just horrible. The way that the balloon spawns start at the beginning, sometimes they'll just give a bunch of balloons to the woman who you're racing against, who really you don't care about at this point. You're just racing against the clock. She steals a bunch of your balloons. It becomes an impossible run right off the gate. That said, I have heard that apparently every single configuration of balloon spawns that can possibly happen, you can still complete the minigame, which would make it a game of skill. But like, let's say you have to be an Olympian for one of the attempts. You see how she stole a bunch of my balloons there, and then I missed one of them too? You know, like, this is a failed run already, and then I hit a bird. It's brutal. So, you know, there's a huge difference. While they may all be possible, a lot of RNG is involved, and there are some configurations that unless you're just like a complete, I don't want to say no life, but if this is all you want to play for the rest of your life, like this minigame on this video game, sure, maybe then you can say it's reasonably balanced and that there's a lot of like fun to it. But I think most people just end up hating the damn thing. Getting chained, one bird after the other bird after the other bird is just horrendous. Sometimes you turn like that corner on the bend and it just makes you want to tear your hair out because there's a bird there and there was no way you could have avoided it. So yeah, it's just a challenging one to do. And I recorded the whole thing back when I was doing it. I believe this could be the successful run right here. So here we go. See, I get a lot of good balloon spawns here that allows me to get it because they appear on the right hand side. You want to shake left and right as little as possible and treat it like a racing game, right? You're going for the absolute minimum time. So we managed to avoid one bird. I believe when I got this, I actually wasn't expecting to get it. You know, see how I managed to steal that balloon from her because she got hit by that bird? Now she takes 2 from me, but again, I've managed to dodge quite nicely here. That one I've missed, but here I think I just get like a huge stream of balloons. And as I said before, if you think you're gonna have to eat a bird to get a balloon, don't do it. Like, if you get 2 balloons to eat a bird, maybe it's worthwhile. Anyway, 2 more right there, and I got lucky that a bird didn't fly out and hit me right at the end. And let's see, that's 14 balloons, 3 birds. Wow, that wasn't the successful run. What the hell? You see how hard this is? That's good, actually. That psyched me out, and that psyched all of you out as well. That wasn't the successful run. Maybe this is the one. It's quite good because I can't see the timeline on my editing software, so I generally have no idea how long this is going to take. But, you know, it's worthwhile showing a few attempts because if you guys are playing along and you want to do all the max stuff, this is arguably one of the hardest things in this entire game, especially with the original release where there were no Dark Aeons. There was no, like, final one right at the end. Like, this was it, you know? It was like, oh, I want to get the final weapons. Okay, it's not even got anything to do with the battle system. This probably isn't it because I missed a ton of balloons on my way. I actually chopped about 75% of the footage of me doing this out that I'm not showing to you guys. These are just my later attempts. Obviously, another thing that sort of impacts the way this works and your chances are how quickly you get to the end. You'll notice here I got to the end way before the NPC did. You can get here like with 45 seconds on the clock. I got here with 35 on the clock, and that's a significant difference. That's worth like 2.5 balloons right there. 14 balloons, 2 birds, and I got there very early. Wow, that's a new personal best. So there you go. That's how we get the sigil. And she'll say, we get the achievement there, Chocobo Rider. She says, wow, that's a new personal best. One that we're probably never going to be able to beat. And she gave us a Turbo Ether. And she also says, unbelievable, that was a perfect run. Wait, I have something special for you. I never thought I'd see the day that someone actually got a perfect run. Here you go. I don't know what it's for, but I've heard that it's priceless. I had to read pretty quick for that. And there you go, you get the Sun Sigil. You can so quickly go spammed actually that stuff. Then you quit and you never have to do it again. Fun minigame in retrospect. I'll say that much. Okay, now here's another thing we're going to do. More editing from stuff I've prepared for the LP. Now, you remember that there's these Al Bhed clues everywhere, and we read one on the Mi'ihen High Road that said that there was a great valley with a thorn beside, right? And so what it's actually talking about is here, the Calmlands, and it's talking about like these thorns that are rising up out of the ground. The Great Valley is here, it's the Scar, and this is the Great Thorn. And so if you interact with it, it says something's written here. With the veil at your back, go 49, then 7 to the right in the truest line. So this is actually an Al Bhed like puzzle quiz thing. Scavenger hunt, which I'm going to edit footage in of because it was a while ago I originally did it. And there's a bunch of clues hidden around it. So we'll grab those and we will get our first airship password. Oh man, look at that classic looking old footage. This was like some of the earliest stuff I recorded for the LP. You might actually see my mouse cursor on here every now and then. But yeah, so 7 to the right in the truest line and 49 down. This is referring to the Chocobo's footsteps. Now, I always got a little bit confused because it tells you to go to the right. But the question is, what right? To the camera's right or to the Chocobo's right? Because from Tidus's perspective right now, wouldn't the right be our left? But it is actually the camera's right, so don't get too concerned. And here you'll see it says right 16 and right 4. There's that letter there that we haven't translated yet. So right 16 and right 4, what exactly does that mean? Well, we're going to go this way. See, now it seems to be from the Chocobo's perspective. I don't know. And then right again, which actually means up from there. It says continue on, find me. Well, to go up from there is to head north. There's a bit of an awkward cut there. But you go right back up near the thorn, where we started. You might want to dismount your Chocobo for this, because the Chocobo can't go too far north at all. And here in this circle, Tidus will kneel down. It says the password is God Hand. That's actually the hardest password to get, arguably. Gives you the best reward too. We'll enter it a little bit later. With the password acquired, and don't tell me it would have made more sense to do this just a second ago, we have a race with the lady. And you remember this guy who says, hey, I saw the race. Sometimes she's hot, sometimes she's not, blah, blah, blah. Well, what we're going to do is, now that he's been distracted from his duties as guardian of random place near the Scar, we're going to go back into that chasm, this time with the Celestial Mirror in hand, and see what happens. So there we go. Use the Celestial Mirror. Get a bit of a cool camera angle, I guess. The seal is shattered, and a hole appears, just like Auron's. And this here is Tidus's weapon, the Khalid Bolg. There you go. Pretty cool looking one as well. So there you go. His final weapon is now in hand. We'll go grab our Chocobo. Alright, with Khalid Bolg in hand, we're going to take one last trip to the Cavern of the Stolen Faith in the north of the Calmlands. We could, in theory, have gone to the monster arena and said, hey, look at all these monsters we've captured. You know, 10 of every area up until now. He would have gone crazy, giving us all this cool stuff. But because we haven't been doing that, we'll do that on the other save file later. Instead, we're going to head in here. You'll find that Blitzball player, who was originally here as well, by the way, I think is gone now. Unless it's after we go do something later. But yeah, so we're just going to come in here. Be careful, because there is now a Dark Aeon in this cavern. If you use the warp pads, you'll be perfectly safe, though. That's my advice to you. I'm not going to spoil anything further until we're ready to kill him. But now that we can visit all the Chambers of the Faith, we'll go up and see what this guy has to say. Apart from just asking for more money.
You are a fading dream, but one touched by reality. Spira will not forget its reality, nor the one who saved it. Run, dream, run on. Pass beyond the waking, and walk into the daylight.
Still rather difficult to interpret. He gives you a strength sphere. So these are all really nice things for our sphere grid. Great to do, you know, if you want to buff your guys up. Not for super bosses necessarily, because you'd need tons for the super bosses of like strength spheres and stuff. But just to power yourself for the final sections of the game. Really easy items available there. So, yeah. Next we're going to go to... or rather, we're going to go through Mount Gagazet. There's actually nothing to do in Mount Gagazet for us. You can spawn one of the Dark Aeons there, but we'll be doing that later. So, as far as this tour is concerned, there's nothing new for us to check out. We've already seen that many of the Ronso have disappeared. I think a couple might have returned, so we'll see that at the very least at the base of the mountain. But aside from that, we're going to skip back to Zanarkand and finish one final piece of unfinished business there to do with the Cloister of Trials. The final Distraction Sphere is now ready for us to take. And we'll also find Macon in Mount Gagazet too, who has some amazing stuff to talk to us about. It's our last encounter with him in the game. So, you know, get your story heads on because it's pretty cool.